forward 2 weeks later, my cousin, I didn't really find what I said offensive. Like, okay, whatever, it's not a big deal. I think I want to say 2 weeks or a week later, but you could tell like my cousin felt some type of way because I said that. And obviously I know you're gonna feel some type of way because your boyfriend feels some type of way. And so her and I had a conversation, and then the first thing that comes out of her mouth was, I don't understand like why you said that, because, you know, when it's in DC for Brandon's birthday, he bought this, he did that, and he paid for all of that. Okay, like I said, thank you. Like I don't understand what you want me to do. I'm not going to kiss his ass. I'm not going to do anything. Like I said thank you, that was enough. Like had I known that that was going to come back to bite me, or you to bring that up, that, oh yeah, he paid for this and he paid for that, had I known that, I would have been like, nah, I'm good, I got myself. Because I don't want something like that to come in the future, so you can use that against me, talking about, oh, he paid for this, he paid for that. I don't allow anybody to pay for anything for me. Why? Because if it's not genuine, I do not want it. I don't want it to come back later on talking about, oh, they did this, they did that for you. Because if you always pay for yourself, no one can never say I did this for you, especially if it's not genuine. And that's how I had to look at it. I'm just like, dang, like, did she really come up and she said that to me? Like, oh, he paid for this, he paid for that. Okay, I didn't ask. And that's why I'm just saying, like, okay, like I didn't ask him to do that, but thank you. I was kind of confused about that. I was like, what the, why does that even matter? Like if he actually did that genuinely, you wouldn't even need to bring that up. But I guess he pays for stuff for you and you feel like you're inclined to do whatever he wants you to do. I'm not mad. That's the life that you want, that's the life that you chose, and that's the person and the partner that you want to be with. So I can't say nothing. Like if he does that to you, I'm just like, I'm gonna tolerate that, then I can't say anything. But what you're not going to do is make me feel some type of way because I said no to his hypothetical question. And so after that, I was like, okay. And I was like, well, dang, like I didn't want him to feel that way. So I was like, well, what can I do to, like, you know, make this up to him? And then she was like, well, you can call him, but don't call him right now, he's probably at work. So she was like, okay, just probably text him. So I have screenshots. Okay, so I'm gonna put them up here. So this was like December 5th. I was like, hey, let me know when it's a good time for you to talk when you're not busy. As you can see, I never got a response. And then the next response that I got from him, he was like, hey bro. And I was like, sup? He was like, we're coming. Let me get the room real quick so I can F real quick. Low key, low key. And then I was like what? Like, why are you having a conversation with your girlfriend's cousin like this? And I'm trying to I was trying to say like, hey, like, let's talk about this. Never got a response. Didn't care. And the crazy thing is, like, I've seen him multiple times, like, around here. Like, you know, I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, what the heck? And then I just noticed that he was being disrespectful. As the time went on, he was being disrespectful, saying disrespectful things, like, but it was just slightly. So it wouldn't seem like, oh, you're overly being disrespectful. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Like, it's like a lot of stuff. I guess he had bed bugs this one time, and my cousin, mind you, me and my cousin were sharing a room. The room that I'm in now, my cousin and I used to share. So I guess like he had bed bugs from somewhere. He got it from somewhere, someone, I don't know. Don't know. So she had asked us in a group text, I don't really want to go up that far, but she had said something in the group text about like, hey, he's going through something right now, and you know, he has bed bugs, and you know, I wanted to see if it's okay for him to stay here for 2 weeks until they fumigate or whatever they do when people have bed bugs. I don't know, I've never had them before, so I don't know. When I was reading it, when my cousin had said that, in the group text, I didn't really say anything, and my friend to say or to reply, oh yeah, like that's fine, like, you know, I guess being, because I knew what happened like at that dinner table, so I was trying to just make sure, like, you know, I didn't want to seem like, oh, I didn't want him over here, blase blase. So I was like, my thought was like, okay, like, yeah, like he can come over, that's fine. And then our roommate, she basically has dealt with a situation like that before, so she knew how hard bed bugs were, and so she was like, no, I don't think, you know, that's a good idea and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't really think that's a good idea. And then I'm so glad, because I was like, and I didn't say anything in the group text, because I was just like, you know what, I'm agreeing everything what you're saying, because I've never dealt with them before, but if you had experience with them, or you know how hard they are, I'm just going to take your word and let you handle this. So I didn't say anything, but I was agreeing with everything that she was saying. This one time, it was me, myself, her friend, and her friend's girlfriend. So I was in the car with her, and she had asked me, she was like, oh, did your cousin, like, you know, say anything about like the situation with her and her boyfriend, about him staying there for 2 weeks? Let me ask you, there's all women in this house, and we share a room together. Let that sink in. And I was like, no, she hasn't said anything. And then she made a comment again that I agreed upon, and I said, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so either. And then we left it alone like that. Like, you know, it wasn't a big deal. I don't think it was something that I need to relay back to my cousin, because I'm just like, I don't really care about it. Like, I agree with what she said, and that was it. Every little thing that I did, and mind you, I would go to work, go to the gym, repeat, go to church, you get what I'm saying, and just straight like that. And I still do that. When I met my friend, that's when I started to like doing more things and going out with her and like exploring and all that other stuff. And how I am as a person, if I go somewhere, I'm not going to share who I'm with. I'm not going to post who I'm with. I'm very like secretive about that. And to be honest, I like to keep my friendships and my relationships, my family relationships, separate. Like, I think the only people that has ever met my family that were my friends was my friend Geneva and Cleo, but they were getting their hair done by my cousin. That's the only reason why those two relationships cross paths. I like to keep my stuff separate, and we all have like our different relationships. Like, my friend now that lives out here is not going to have the same relationship with my friends back home. And I guess like more arguments, like things that were happening, things were said, and I'm just like, bro, like what the heck. And then there was this one time where we were all thinking about moving in together, like a 4-bedroom like place, after this lease was ending. Our roommate, it was going to be her sister, and you know, she relayed to us that like, you know, her sister smokes and all of that other stuff. I don't really care about that, because you know what, and again, I agreed with her about like, you know, if you pay for a space, you can do whatever you want in that space. Now that's where we're gonna have to like discuss like the common areas, which would be the kitchen and the living room or the dining room area. You know what I mean? That's something like, okay, like yes, like we have to discuss, because it's not just your space, it's, you know, 3 other people's spaces. I agree with the roommate, like, you know, you can smoke, like I don't really care, like you pay for the area, like you can't tell people what they can and cannot do, especially if they pay for a space, because you do have to be respectful and mindful of 3 other people that live there. So I get that. And so I told my cousin, I'm just like, okay, well maybe like I can let her know and stuff like that. So you can't really tell people what they can and cannot do, especially like if they pay for a space, you know. So I guess like she felt some type of way, and she had this notion like I never had her back or whatever and stuff like that. Like, you know, I was just supposed to be, because we are cousins, I was just supposed to be on her side, and just regardless if she was wrong or right. And I'm not that type of person. Like, I can't be a yes girl. Yes, yes, yes. I can't be surrounded by people that just say yes all the time. Because if you're doing something wrong, you would want someone to be like, a kind of wrong. I don't think you should be doing that. I don't think you should be saying that. Those are the people that really care, instead of people that are yes people. I can't relate to a yes person because I'm not a yes person. And I don't want a yes person around me, because I can be doing something really detrimental to myself. And you just be like, oh yeah, like go ahead, like do it, like go ahead. No, no. So that happened. That started up a whole different thing. We have these conversations, and I would think like, okay, we're good, like we just got over something, and then no, something else pops up. But something else popped up where you didn't discuss with me that you felt like this type of way. It was always like, oh, okay, we're good, or me thinking that we're good, and then next thing I know, a little thing happens where it's just like all hell breaks loose, and I'm just like, I thought we were just good. And then she would be like, no, Lauricia, we're not good. We haven't been good for a very long time. Okay, but you didn't say anything, so how would I know like that we're not good? And mind you, my whole thing is like, I just go to work, go to the gym, and like repeat. That's literally what I do. Like what you do in your life with your boyfriend and your friends, I don't really care, because it doesn't affect me. What you do with these people do not affect me and will never affect me. But it kind of made it seem like every little thing that I was doing was affecting her, and I don't understand how it was affecting her. At one point, she wanted, I stopped sharing my location with her. She said something like, oh, I feel like I need to know where you're going. I need to know who you're with. Because I know that everybody knows that you moved out here, and I feel somewhat responsible for you. But how are you responsible for a grown-ass woman? You should only be responsible for yourself. I never asked you. And if that's the case, shoot, why didn't you, if you felt so inclined that you are responsible for me, why didn't you pay my car note? Why didn't you pay insurance, my phone bill? Why didn't you feed me? Why didn't you buy me clothes? If you felt so inclined that you were responsible for me, because if you think about it, if someone's responsible for you, don't you think that you should be paying everything, their needs, their wants? Because that's what parents do. I didn't ask you to do anything at all. And if I don't have something, I will figure it out, as an adult should. Not always looking out for a handout for people. And maybe that's the way that I was raised, and you were raised a different way, but that's okay. Everybody's not going to be raised the same way as you. At this point, I was just like, dang, like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I couldn't say anything. I felt like everything that I was saying and doing was wrong. Like I literally was going crazy. I felt like I had nobody. I felt like it was just me. I was the problem. I just felt so like I just wanted to make it right. Anything I wanted to make it right, and I felt like I couldn't make it right. I was on my way back home from my friend's house, and my sister, she had called me, and she was like, bro, like she doesn't want to live with you anymore. I was like, wait, what? Like this was news to me. Like she never said anything to me. She was like, yeah, like her mom told my mom, like, yeah, like she doesn't want to live with you anymore. You're too difficult to live with. You're too this, you're too that. Like she just doesn't want to live with you. And I'm just like, what the, like where's all of this coming from? Like I don't know. You've never communicated with me. You never said, hey, like you're doing this, and like, you know, you never communicated with that with me. Lack of communication on her part really kind of took a toll on everything, because one minute I thought we would have our conversations, we would be good, like, you know, and the next minute I know, oh, we haven't been good for a while, but we just went to church, went to go shop, got something to eat, came back here, took a shower, and when he came, and you claim as if you didn't know that he was coming, you share your location with him, so And then the mood went up from here to down here. I guess he was going somewhere with his friends and stuff like that, and my cousin, she was like, oh, you want to go and stuff like that, and I was like, I was hesitating to answer. I was like, no, not really, but you know, I don't know. And he was like, no, she doesn't want to go. No, she's good. No, she doesn't want to go. And when I seen that, I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'm good. No answer. I need a yes or no answer. I'm good. And that's how I knew like there was something that he was bothered by. And he was just like, you asked me a hypothetical question and now you're in your feelings about my response. It's crazy. And then that started something. After he left, that started something. And I told her, I was like, I don't understand how we could go to church, shop, and grab something to eat, and it turned out to be this. Things happen. So having a good day, then you lying about not knowing that he was coming, and then he shifted the whole dynamic, the whole energy in the room, and all you can say is things happen. I didn't know, having a good time, and then just things happen. And then a couple of weeks later, or it was like a couple of weeks later or something like that, she was like, hey, like, did you want to go to church with me? I said, absolutely not. I don't want things to happen again the way that it did, so I'm okay. So I didn't go. And then her friend came out here to stay for like, I think the weekend or whatever. All good. I didn't think anything of it. So we went outside and we had a conversation, just her and her friend, and she brought up, yeah, like I was telling your cousin about boundaries and stuff like that. You guys should have had a conversation prior to that. And I was just like, boundaries? This is a word I'm unfamiliar with. And I was just like, yeah, boundaries. Yeah, like I didn't know what she was like talking about. And so we came back inside from outside, and then I guess there's a bar around here, so they were gonna do that. And then when we came in the house and stuff, like we were kind of like laughing or whatever, and then my cousin was doing whatever she was doing in the house, and then we had sat on the couch, and then we were still like kind of like laughing or whatever, and then you can just see my cousin, she was just like, and I looked and I was just like, okay. Her friend had asked me, she was like, oh, did you want to go and stuff like that? And I was like, no, I'm okay. Because that was after my cousin did that. I was like, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm not welcome. I don't want to go anywhere where I'm not welcome. So I was like, no, that's fine. The next day I was gonna go somewhere with my friend anyway, but I told them, I was like, hey, like, you know, just let me know. I'll probably go out with you guys, you know, just let me know. And then she was like, okay, but I was still with my friend, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm just probably not gonna go. So plus I knew that my cousin didn't want me there anyway, so I was just like, let me just save face, I'm just not gonna go. So after that, they had went on a trip to Vegas and stuff. Mind you, me and my cousin are sitting in the room. She did not say, hey, he's going to be here, or anything. And I just kind of felt like you should say something, especially because we're sharing a room together. Be considerate of that we do share a room together. And after that whole conversation that we had at that dinner table, the consideration, like the respect, it was just not, it wasn't there. And you could tell, like, there was no respect, no consideration. It's like she just didn't communicate with me on certain things. That really just, yeah. I don't even know what to say. But they did end up going to Vegas. And then this is like when I think that it reached my breaking point. Is when he was here for like, I think, I don't know if it was like a week or whatever. This was before they went to Vegas, and before her mom's wedding. So this is in April, I believe. Yes, so this is in April. They had left, and then I was like just packing and all that other stuff. So I was like, okay, like I finally get some breather from him being here for a whole week. So I'm just like, okay. I think I want to say it was the day that I got there. My mom picked me up from the airport. We went to go get something to eat, went back home, but then we had to go back out because that night was the dress rehearsal. So I went there because, you know, I just wanted to go, and plus I had to get a head count of like everybody who wanted to get makeup done, and so that's why I guess I went. And then so I got there first, and then I guess they had went to go meet up with our other cousin, and they hung out, I guess, for the day or so. I get there, I was sitting all the way up in the church, and they were in the back talking to people and stuff like that. And then she walked up. I was like talking to other people and stuff like that, so you know, but I just noticed that like she was very like standoffish. She didn't want to talk, she didn't say anything, and it was just really weird. Like it was like tension for no reason. And for me, I'm just like okay, like why is there any tension, you know? So, but it was prior to all of that. And then even when I think they were here, he was here for like a week, I think I just slept on the couch because I'm just like, you know what, I'm not doing that. So, and then it was so weird too. This has nothing to do with it, but I get like, you know you're sharing a room, and then like your boyfriend comes and stuff like that, but you know, you never was considerate of asking me, was that okay? Like, did you feel comfortable for him to like be sleeping in the same room, you know? And then also to like, I noticed that like every time like when I went to go try to go take a shower, I would be getting my stuff together, and he just wouldn't leave. I'm just like, bro, like you want to go wait into the living room? Like, this is my space. But you really was like, no. So you can get out, you can take all your stuff to the bathroom and get dressed in there. And I don't even do that. Like, I like to take a shower, come in my room, get dressed. And I don't even know who stays in the bathroom to get ready and stuff like that. So I don't know. So that happened, and I was just kind of like, bro, like what the heck? And I had discussed that with her too, and I was like, bro, like he doesn't even like leave when I'm trying to like, you know, do my stuff, like, you know. And she was like, oh, I'll talk to him about that. And I told her, I was like, bro, that's not a conversational piece, that should just be an automatic thing. So I don't know how some people in their relationships work. I don't know, but I'm not, yeah. So that happened. So back at the church, she came in, didn't say anything. She said hello to everybody else, and then she kind of like stood in front of me because I was sitting down. She was like kind of stood in front of me, and then she was like, oh hey, like some fakery, like, oh hey, like I'm just like, hey. And I was like, oh, and I told her, I was like, oh, now you want to speak? And she was like, well, you could have spoke to me like when you saw me. I'm just like what the heck is like up with you right now? And then I told my mom after like we got done with the dress rehearsal, I was like, Mom, did you like see that? Did you notice? She was like, yeah, I did. Like the way she was speaking, it was just very like snappy. Like, oh, I was like, thank you, Mom. Like, you seen that, right? Okay. So that happened. Me and my mom went back home. Yeah, I think they came over, and then I'll throw up some text messages too, yeah, so you guys can read it. But I think she said something about like, hey, we're gonna come over and stuff like that, because she was like, Dee wants to talk to you or something. I don't really remember. And then I didn't see it because, you know, I was upstairs with my sister and my mom and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to, whatever you want to talk about, I'm not trying to talk to you. I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. So, I mean, I see you guys in VA all the time, so I don't need to see you. So I kind of felt like that was kind of selfish too. Like, I was trying to spend time with my mom and my sister, and then you guys wanted to come over, disturb my peace, for your shenanigans, your made-up beef that you wanted to create in your head. Like, you decided to do that, I think that's very selfish of the both of them. So I didn't get it. So I heard the doorbell and I was like, oh, there's someone at the door. And then I checked my phone. I was like, oh, it's them. So I was like, okay, like whatever. Because I never had a problem. I don't have a problem. But like now, like what I've been through, yeah, like there's still no problem. But you can't have access to me the way that you did. I came inside and then, but this is why I feel like this was like pre-planned. Like they were gonna go into the backyard. We were gonna go into the backyard and like I guess talk or whatever. But I guess like in the backyard there's like a room downstairs, and then there's my mom's room and then my sister's room. Like the windows are like right there. So I guess they were like, oh no, like we're just gonna go in the car. So I was like, okay, like whatever. So at this time it's myself, my cousin, my two cousins, and then B. We started talking and stuff like that, and I'm not for sure if like my cousin left at the time or she stayed in the car, but he was like, okay, so I wanna squash the beef, you know, all this other stuff. And I was just like, okay, go ahead, because again, I don't have a problem with you. So it's just like, okay, go ahead. Like, and then so I sat there in the car, and then he was like going on and on about some story, friend in the past and stuff, and that I would have done anything for. And I don't know, I blinked out because I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about right now? What does a male friendship has anything to do with a hypothetical question that you asked of me? The similarities is not there. There's no comparisons. Bro, like that's your homeboy. I'm just your girlfriend's cousin. So I just let him talk and I was just like listening. I was like, okay. I thought it was just like the stuff that my cousin was complaining about me, and because she had mentioned like, she had mentioned, oh, the way that you communicate is poor, and I don't know if you're sad or happy, and you know, you just don't talk to me. And how I am like as a person, if I don't have anything to say, there could be nothing wrong with me, but there's just sometimes where I don't have anything to say, so I just am quiet. I was just like, okay, like there's nothing wrong with me, I just don't have anything to say. Like, and I just kind of felt like maybe she just wanted me to be all up under her and just be clingy or clinging to her. And I'm just like, bro, like I'm not that type of person, like and I would never be that type of person, so sorry. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk when I don't have anything to say. And then he was like, oh no, not that. I'm like, okay, then like what is it? Well, you know what, we don't have to be like best of friends and stuff like that and all this other stuff. And I was like, bro, like I don't understand, like why are you hurt? Like why are you so pressed and so bothered by the fact that I just said, no, who are you other than my cousin's boyfriend? Find that very strange. Like, why does that matter? Have that such a strong like feeling, if that makes sense. I'm just like, it's weird to me. And it's just like for someone that you barely even know, and that's your girlfriend's cousin. But I'm gonna look at you and say, why are you asking my female cousin to ever do something for you? To me, again, that's weird. And then I just kind of got like really like emotional, and I told my cousin, because that was his car, and I told my cousin, I was like, yeah, I want to go. And he was like, you want to get out the car? And I was like, yeah. Prior to that, when B was like explaining like the story to him, I guess, my cousin, he was like, so Reese, basically you just didn't want to be responsible for that. And I say, yeah, exactly. He was like, oh, okay, makes sense. I'm like, yes, right. So I just kind of felt like it was an attack, and I felt like it was a setup. I felt like they already knew what they wanted to do. I already felt like they knew what they wanted to say, how they wanted to say it, how they wanted everything to go down, like very calculated. And then I told my cousin, I was like, yeah, I was like, I want to go. I was like, can you unlock the door? Like, I want to leave. And I was trying my hardest not to freaking cry, because I'm just like, bro, no, like You do not deserve to see my tears. You don't deserve to see that you thought that you broke me. So I got out the car. I didn't look back. I didn't say anything. But all I heard was, oh, see, shut up. Like, I couldn't even get what I wanted to say. Da 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 da. And then my cousin, she was like, that's B talking. Telling my cousin to shut up. My cousin was like, oh, there she goes. That's what she does. She always does this. This is what she does. Mind you, kept walking. Didn't look back. I got upstairs and I immediately like went into my sister's room and just bawled my eyes out. And I was like so disgusted. I was like, what the heck? Just literally just tried to attack me. Like, what is this? And my sister, she was on the phone and she was like, I'm like, you gotta go. I was like, and so I went into my mom's room and I just literally went into her bathroom and just started crying. And then my mom, it woke up my mom and she was like, Reese, what's wrong, baby? Like, what's wrong? And I couldn't even talk. Like, I was hyperventilating. I just couldn't even talk. I was just so in shock and so just like, what the heck just happened? Like, I guess as I was like talking to my mom, I'm gonna throw up the screenshots of them both trying to call me back to back, texting me back to back, trying to get me back into that environment of them basically being a bully, basically just trying to, I don't know, but they were trying to just make me go back. And I was just telling them, I just said, I didn't say anything. So these are the screenshots. Like, I didn't say anything. My cousin, I guess at one point she was like saying like, oh, if you want to just talk to B, like it would just be you and him and I'll go take a walk or whatever, calling me back to back. And then she was like, okay, well, if you don't come, da da da, we're gonna leave. Didn't respond. Him saying, bro, come back, bro, like, can you come back please? What? Absolutely not. And so the next day, I had to, what is that? I went with my mom, her mom, and then they were meeting up with her sister and her brother. And we all went to go get something to eat. We went to Ulta because she had to get some last minute things. My cousin had texted me. She was like, hey, did you want to go swim at our hotel? And I said, no, I'm actually doing stuff with your mom and my mom for her wedding. Kind of thought that, you know, you should be doing that too. But so I said no. And then I just kept it like that. The wedding happened. I was only supposed to do my cousin's makeup. They're both bridesmaids, but her younger sister, I was supposed to do her makeup because she wanted me to do her makeup. So I was like, okay, I put you in my scheduling. Her mom's sister makeup because she asked, so I scheduled in her. So my cousin, who I lived with, never said anything about how she wanted to get her makeup done. But when she seen her sister's makeup, mind you, I wasn't even dressed. I just got done with doing my hair and my makeup. I wasn't even done with my hair. So I just got done with my makeup and I was starting on my hair, and then they had to come and then I started working on them. I literally had sweats and a little tank top. That was it. So after I got done with her sister's makeup, she was just like, I wonder if, like, she didn't say this to me personally, but like you could tell like she wanted me to do her makeup, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I did your sister's makeup, I did your mom's sister's makeup, and then I have to do your mom's makeup, and we were already running late. So I'm just like, no, like I can't do that. Like, you didn't ask me that you wanted me to do her makeup, so I'm not going to overextend myself, regardless if it's your mom's wedding, whatever. If you didn't communicate, keyword communicate, that with me prior so I could have scheduled you in, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then her boyfriend was like, bro, looking like a deer in the headlights, bro. I'm just like, what the heck? He was like, oh, well, can you see if like you can get your makeup done or something? I'm just like, bro, I'm not doing, like, no, I'm not doing her makeup. I'm sorry, you didn't ask me, you didn't pay me, so no. So after that, we had the wedding. and didn't say anything, you know. Especially after that whole thing that happened with my driveway, like the day before, whatever, or the first night that I got out there, I was just completely just over it. I was over them. I was over the stupid hypothetical question. I was over the immaturity of their part. I was just over you wanting to control me. I was over you wanting to be in my romantic life. I was just over any and everything that had anything to do with you. And again, that was me making that mental note, like, you're not for me like you claim to be. So, and I accepted that. I accepted who you are as a person. I accepted you're still the same little girl that's trying to control every and anything. I was just, I accepted that, and I was just like, I can't do anything about it but just to accept it, move on, and just try to like keep it cordial until, yeah. But after the wedding and stuff like that, it was like the day after that, this is what she said. This is the text message that she had said. I think she said something about wanting to go to Delta Shores and either getting something to eat or watching a movie. And I'm like, no, did you not just see what you guys did in the driveway? And did you not just act it at the church when you got there? No, I want to spend time with people who actually love and care about me and has not put me through stress and just making me seem like I'm crazy. I want to go with my friends who actually care and love about me, who I haven't seen in 7 months, 8 months. No, I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. I'm just like, I don't know if you're delusional about what just went on days prior, but that's not how you try to fix or try to work something. That's just you trying to manipulate and control a narrative and not taking accountability for your actions, and him not taking accountability for his actions and his emotions. They flew back home. I think I was still there for about like a day or two. I'm not for sure. They flew back home. I didn't even ask my cousin to pick me up from the airport. I asked our roommate, but I think she was out of town, so I just got an Uber and I came home. I think some days have passed, and I just, again, like how I told you, like I was just over it. I just couldn't imagine like that little thing, that hypothetical question turned into this gigantic like war. Days have passed, and she had wanted to, I guess she was going somewhere, but get this, we had a conversation, and before she was going somewhere, but she didn't tell me where she was going, so I was just at home and stuff like that, you know, chilling. I was over the whole situation. I was over her. I was over everything, but I was like, you know, keeping it cordial. I still kind of felt some type of way, and I had explained that to her, and was like, to be honest, like what you guys did like in my driveway back home was kind of like a setup to me. And I was like trying to tell her, I was like, I really don't want to talk about it, but she kept egging it on for me to talk about it. And I'm like, bro, like I really just don't want to talk about it right now. Like, let me just please just get like my senses together, get my emotions, like everything together. Let me process everything that just happened when we went back home. But she didn't listen. She kept talking about it. We had another argument, and I was just telling her, I was just like, this is why I didn't want to talk about this. She was like, oh, well, I was gonna go somewhere, and I just wanted to see if you wanted to come, but now I know where your headspace is. Yeah. And I was just like, so you had to have an argument with me because of what? And then you wanted to turn around and ask me if I wanted to go somewhere with you. What are you talking about right now? You don't realize what you did back home was, and how that made me feel, or how that would have made me feel, that 2 people are attacking me and one of them is my cousin, and you think that I want to have anything to do with you, any involvement with you, going anywhere with you? No. Like, I don't know who does that, who can basically just be rude, disrespectful, condescending, inconsiderate, and then you want me to just forget about it and be like, okay, you're my cousin, so okay. She said that she forgives me, so it's okay, but she doesn't care how I feel like in that moment, how it was a setup, and how I literally had a panic attack, and how I literally was going crazy for the past couple of months off of a hypothetical question. And so after that, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep it cordial, whatever. He texted me and he was like saying like, oh yeah, I want to come down here to support my cousin and stuff like that. And I had just texted him. I was like, bro, to be honest, I just came off vacation and I just kind of want to get back into my groove and my swing of things by myself here. He didn't respond back. Something had happened with me and my cousin, and she had said something like, oh, B isn't here because I told him. And I was like, no, he had texted me and he asked me if he could come out here, and I told him no. And then that's when the whole like, okay, well, I'm not even going to tell you like he's coming over, he's just going to come over and all this other stuff. And mind you, most of the times when he did pop up, my cousin never told me anything, and we share a room together. Regardless if you think that I'm cool with him or not, the consideration of us sharing a room together wasn't in the equation. And you didn't care about, again, how I felt about anything. I just noticed that every time like he came over, he was just very rude, disrespectful. He didn't say anything, but you could tell like, I'm here and I'm gonna mark my territory. Like, yeah, I was just like, okay. I had made the conscious decision to basically stop sleeping in the room, because that happened at going back home. I had basically wanted to separate myself completely. Again, I still kept it cordial because, like, you know, whatever, but as far as sleeping in the room together, I just couldn't do it. I was just so over it, and it's just like, I didn't even want to see your face. Like, your face disgusted me into the fact that your energy, your aura, your smell, like anything that had to do with you, I was just over, and I was just disgusted with, because that's someone that I don't even know. You allowed someone else's emotions to affect you and your emotions, and overall, like, you're a family dynamic, a family relationship off of I don't know what. But that's something I was just completely just disgusted with. I don't even know what to say, but I'm thinking we got everything out. Like, we started to, like, you know, do a little something. We had started to talk and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, we were supposed to move in with our roommate and her sister, but she didn't know exactly, our roommate didn't know exactly what she was gonna do or what her sister was gonna do. So it was kind of like saying like, okay, well, let's see what us two are gonna do. And I found this girl, she's renting out 2 rooms, you know, blase blase. And she was like, I don't know if you were still open to the idea of us living together. And then I was hesitating, but I was like, you know what, maybe, because I kept telling her, I was like, you know, we are 2 grown women, like, and sharing a room, like, it's not gonna work. Like, you're trying to grow, you're trying to do your thing, and I'm trying to do my thing. So like, separation is needed. And that happened, and I was like, yeah, like, I'm still open, like, that's fine. And I was like, I think like it would be better anyways, like, if we had our own room. And then some weeks go by, and I had asked her, I was like, hey, like, did you find out about like the girl and like the room situation? She was like, oh no, like, I haven't talked to her. And then I was like, okay. I was like talking to my friend, and I felt like something was bad gonna happen. And then I was like texting my cousin. I think I was like telling her about like the whole back and forth of not knowing what you wanted to do and stuff like that was really unfair to me, because I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing. Your actions, like, you're telling me one thing, but your actions and like the way that you're doing and the way that you're saying is, oh, I'm telling my cousin this one thing so she would think that like we'll be living together and stuff like that, but in reality I don't really want to live with her, and I'm sticking that, and I just want to make it seem like I'm just, it's like the back and forth. And I was like telling her in the text messages, I was like, bro, like that's unfair, like, you know, the whole back and forth stuff is not cool. I basically told her, I was like, I didn't come out here to like live with strangers and stuff like that. I came out here because I wanted to, like, you know, live with you, my cousin, and stuff like that. And she was like, okay, well, you wouldn't be living with me forever and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but this is still a new territory for me. I don't know anybody out here. Like, yes, I made a friend, but that's just one person. Like, I don't know anybody out here other than you. Yeah. So that happened, and then we were just going in. I was like just telling her everything, that how I was feeling. And then I think at one point I just told her, I was like, you know what, just to see what she would say, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go back home. Like, and she was like, oh, no, like, it's not that I don't want you out here, it's just like the way that you communicate and all this other stuff. And I just told her through countless of, you know, conversations that we had, I communicate in a way that you don't understand. Like, me, if it doesn't have anything to do with me or directly affecting me, I don't try to give it no attention, no care, no thought, no anything, because I don't care. If it's not affecting me, why do I let it bother me? And that's the type of person I am. And I guess she's like the type of person where there's like a problem, I want to solve it. There has to be a solution for every little thing. And to me, I don't think there's a solution for everything. I feel like sometimes you just have to accept the way that things are, or you have to accept the way that a person is. Yes, there's technically in a way a solution, but in reality that person has to that solution themselves. That solution is just an idea of your idea that that person can do. In reality, if that person doesn't want to do anything, they don't have to do anything. There is no solution for that person's life. Maybe they're so far gone that there is no solution. Like, you just have to let them be, unless they want to change for themselves. But other than that, no. But yeah, and I told her that, and the whole back and forth thing. And then I just told her about like me going home and stuff, and she was like, no. And then I had called our roommate, and then I was just asking her, I was like, did you just want to renew the lease with me? And I told her, I was like, because like my cousin, like, she's doing this whole back and forth thing, and I don't really know what she's gonna do. And you know, she's already said like I could renew the lease and she just move out and stuff. So I was just like, what did you want to do? Because at this point, yeah. And so she just said like that was fine, like, you know, we can just do the paperwork. So we did the paperwork. Now fast forward to I think July. I had sent her a text message, and I was just like, hey, like my lease starts on the 11th or the 10th. I just wanted to see like what your plans are, you know, for like moving out. And so I just basically told her, I was like, can you keep this through the group text, because I kind of already seen how like she was moving. Like, she wasn't really taking accountability, and she would always try to have like these conversations with me when it was just her and I, just so like I guess there was nobody to be like, yo, like, is she really talking to her cousin like that? Group chat, because it was involving like the apartment. She was like, oh, thanks for letting me know, actually I'm just organizing and packing and all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. And then so I don't know, she had texted me again. You guys can read it, because I forgot what she was like saying. She was basically saying like, thanks for checking, I'm actually not sure on the move out day. And she was like in the process of organizing, and she was like, I'll keep you updated on my official move out date. She never really did, but okay. To me it just seemed like some automatic generic like answer. She was like, thanks for your patience and understanding in the meantime. Like, okay. And then she got really hostile, like you can see in this last text message and stuff like that. And then that was like in the group text or whatever. I stopped like responding to her because I'm just like, yo, like I can't, like I'm over it. Like I've been over it since April. Like when we went back home, I was just over it. So again, she had sent me this text message. I didn't respond to her. I just basically took a screenshot and I put it back into the group text because that's where I wanted the conversation to stay and it needed to stay there. And then again, how she seen that I wasn't responding and stuff like that to her, she sent this again talking about I was being difficult by not responding to her. And she was basically saying like, oh, I needed to move all my stuff out the apartment until my lease started. And she was basically saying like if I didn't, all my stuff would have been thrown away. And she was saying that I would be trespassing, I'm a squatter. All these words that she's using, she's never had said that before. She said that I would be trespassing, I'm a squatter. If the police is called, then that's not my problem. It was so weird. And then as you can see too, like this is all in the group text. She had changed the name of the group text to Larisi with an audience, and I removed it. I'm just like, bro, like you're really showing your true colors. Like I hope you realize that in a group text with another person that can read everything that you're saying to your own family, to your own cousin. And she was just being so like just hostile. And then I think there's some other stuff. When I got back home, mind you, she was still texting me and all this other stuff, and I basically was not responding. And then I came home on a Friday after work. I just got off the phone with my mom, and I just got on the phone with my sister. I was about to cook some dinner, and she comes out from the room and she was like, oh, she was like, did you get my text? And I was like, yeah, I did. And she was like, okay, well, I need you to get your stuff out because I'm about to start class in 15 minutes and I don't need you to come in and out of the room and making noise. And I was just like, you can go do your class and I will get my stuff later. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm literally trying to cook my food, and by the time I'm done, you'll be done with the class. And, you know, just common sense. Like, you know, if someone's not trying to start anything with you, common sense, like, you know. And I didn't even go in the room. That's the crazy part. Like, I literally put my stuff down in the living room and started to cook my food. When I got off the phone with my mom and got on the phone with my sister. So I'm just like, okay. And then she was like, okay, well, mind you, it's just her and I in the house. She was like, okay, well then I'll move it. And then I was like, bruh, please don't touch my stuff. Like, I'm a real big advocate of not touching other people's stuff. Because if you touch my stuff, it's fair game. Like, I'm sorry. I'm asking you not to touch it. Because I don't know what your finances are. And I don't know if you can replace it. She was like, okay, well then I'll move it. And I was like, bro, please don't touch my stuff. So I carried on. She took my vanity mirror and she had proceeded to move it. And I was like, please don't touch my stuff. So I took it and I put it on my bed. And then she was like, okay, well, I need you to get your stuff out. She kept saying that, and I was like, bro, please do not touch my stuff. And then she was like, okay, well, it needs to get out, or da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, it's not even bothering you, like, at all. And my whole thing is like, you could have moved your stuff out and still kept my stuff in here, and it still wouldn't have been a problem. I could have came later that day when I was off of work, done with work, and moved it. No one would have cared. Like, I don't know. To me, that just kind of seems like I'm antagonizing you at this point. I want you to get angry. I want you to get mad. Show me emotion. You're not showing me anything. Show me emotion. That's literally how I felt. And I was like, I was just done to everything that you did. I stopped sleeping in the room. Like, I just stopped communicating with her altogether. But other than a hey when I got home or when I see her, that was it. I didn't have anything to say to you. I stopped respecting you when you allowed your boyfriend to blatantly just literally just disrespect me over and over again and just be so ruthless over nothing, a hypothetical question. I was over and done with you. But I still kept it cordial by saying, hey, when you came in the door. But other than that, us like communicating about, hey, like, you want to go hang out, you want to go grab something to eat, you want to go to the beach, you want to do this, you want to do that, that is a luxury with me. It's not just going to be given just because we're cousins. Not especially like if you're going to treat me like a random person that you don't know and that you have never grown up with. Getting to know me and being a part of my life is a luxury. I'm sorry, because that's the value that I hold. So then we got into a scuffle, and then I was literally, and I would say this, I literally was like, bro, I really want to hit you right now, but I'm not going to. And then she was like, hit me. So she balled up her fist and acted as if like she was going to hit me. And I was like, bro, what are you doing right now? And then I was just so fed up. I was just like, you know what? I was like, bro, do your class. Like, and she was like, I just missed my class and da-da-da because of you. Bro, I asked you not to touch my stuff. I wasn't even in the room. And crazy thing is, like, through this whole year, or the time that I was living together with her, sharing the same room, and I was in the room while she had class, I never made a peep. I always kept it quiet. So I got fed up, and so I just started packing up my clothes as much as I could. And then I had asked my roommate, I was like, hey, can I put my stuff in your room? She was like, yeah, that's fine. And she had texted me, like, you know, after the LR privately, and she was like, hey, like, you know, you can just put your stuff in my room and stuff like that. And then I kept apologizing to her because I'm just like, dang, like, I didn't want to bring you into like this fuckery, this mess of what my cousin created and her boyfriend in her head created. Yeah. And so I was just done. And then it's just really messed up because I'm going through so much stress. I'm trying to get out of that. But honestly, like, that whole situation that I've been through this last 9 months with just dealing with my cousin and her boyfriend, like, it took a toll on me. Like, I stopped working out, like, I stopped really wanting to eat. My hair started falling out, my face looking so drained. I mean, I probably still look a little bit drained because I'm still like, it comes in waves where I feel good and then I feel like, damn, like, did this really just happen to me? And did I just really go through this by myself? No family out here, like nothing. My face going crazy, breakouts, just my weight up and down. Like, even right now, like, I feel like I'm not, I feel like how I was back home when I got into this like little pickle or whatever. I wasn't eating, I was like really small, skinny. I don't like it. But yeah, like, even now, like, I literally don't have, I mean, I have my friend now, like, out here, and she's helping me. Like, she's been my rock through this whole entire thing, and I'm so grateful for her because and then my friend Nuna, my sister, my mom, my friend Keith, like, and even my friend Cleo, because I would talk to her about it. I felt like I didn't really have anybody here but them, and it just sucks because like they weren't even here besides my friend Amaya. But it's just like, even now, like, I don't have anybody to like express that with, or just to even talk about like what I really went through and stuff, because it still affects me. And I think, like, even when I talk about it, like, my hair starts to break, my hair starts to fall out. So I'm trying not to think about it, because if I keep thinking about it, I feel like I'm just gonna be bald. But hopefully not, I'm not gonna be bald. But I just feel like because it was such a traumatic experience that I dealt with on my own, like, I feel like now my body's like just trying to like really just bounce back from all of that stuff that happened to me. And I was just like, and I still feel alone. Like, and then it's like, you know how you have like this one person that you want to go to but you can't go to because that's their people and like I that's me right now, like, and it's just like I can't do anything about it but like try to like just move on and move forward. And it's just like no one, like if I care about you, I would try to like see how you're doing and stuff. And it's just crazy because I don't have that. Like even my cousin, which is her sister, like I just noticed that, like, you know, she wouldn't, like, and I understand, like, yes, you're busy and stuff like that, and it's just like, but before, like, she used to like call me and like text me and stuff like that. Mind you, like, yeah, I could do that too, but I'm just like, you know, everything that is happening, even just regardless of what your sister is telling you, like, you don't think to like to check up on me and stuff like that to see if I'm okay, regardless if you take your sister's side or not. Like, I'm still your family. And I just felt like I don't have anybody, and it's just like I really just dealt with this all by myself. And all I know now, like, I just have to be like strong for myself, and the way that you did before, like I love you, but I have to love you from a distance. Just like right now, like we can't have a relationship. Even if you come to me apologizing and stuff like that, I can forgive you, but I can never forget, and I can never let you have access to me the way that you did before, because you thought that you could break me. But no, like, this made me so much stronger as a person, and I know that I just have to get over whatever right now, so I don't even think about it. But I'm just completely just like done. And I hope, like how I told you, that you find whatever that is that you are trying to achieve in your life. But I just cannot be a part of it. I can't be a part of you. I can't be a part of anything. I can just only love you from a distance, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, but that is my whole experience about living out here in VA for a year. Some good, and then as you can see, very, very bad. And I just hope that, like, you know, one day I can think back and look at this video like, dang, like you really made it out some stuff, like, and you made it out on top. Yeah, much respect to you, because a lot of people would have allowed that situation to overcome them and just really take control of them, but I'm not going to. So if you want to see more of me and more videos, fashion, hair, makeup, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like the video, and come back for more. And yeah, this is the new beginning of me on this channel, because there's going to be a lot more coming from me. Consistency, yes. So let's get it to win it. But yeah, like, let's really get this, because, you know. So yeah, all right.